first of my training videos for the Escape from Meriden race, starting rather unglamorously at a bus stop outside Morrison's. The idea of this being that I'm going to get a bus down into town, a train down to Ashford, and then I should arrive at Ashford about midnight, and I'll be walking from Ashford back home. And I'm expecting that to take me about 6 hours, so I should be arriving back home about 6 AM, about half an hour after sunrise, and that will give me an experience of the overnight section of the race. At least the very first overnight section. The second overnight section will be at the end from about 5 PM till midnight the following day. So I should be arriving in about 2 minutes, hopefully. I've seen it go the other way, so I'll jump on that minute rise.
Ashford International. In the interests of your safety and security, CCTV is in operation on this service.
Thought I'd stop recording at that time and start recording now that I'm a few hundred yards away from the nightclub with a whole bunch of drunk teenagers, because you know it's just going to invite trouble when they see some bloke with running gear on and water bottles and a backpack. So best to just avoid it, eh? Anyway, yeah, a couple of yards away from that, and starting off on my 18-mile trek. You can see at the moment I'm wearing my black waterproof jacket. I've got a reflective fluorescent waterproof jacket in my backpack here, which once I get away from the street lights I'll get that out and I'll get my head torch on and start using that, but all the while I don't need to. And this thing's warmer anyway, although temperature wise I couldn't really ask for better. It's like 15, 16 degrees and it's about midnight at the moment. So, yeah, certainly not the conditions I'm expected to have in November, but we try and match our conditions as much as possible. So what I can match is the time starting at midnight-ish and going through to sunrise, and the things that that's going to do to my body as I go through this. So I'll say more about that in a little while. Right, well this is the point where I need to change into my reflective jacket. I'll stick my head torch on, because we're going from that into that. So the only way I can record this video at the moment is I've got my head torch on to light my way in front, but I've also got my backup torch which I'm using to light me, otherwise you just wouldn't see anything if I turn it off. That's all you see. Which isn't ideal really, because if this head torch gives out I'm going to need this backup torch, but I do have spare batteries for it, so it's not too bad. But yes, this head torch, Petzl Swift RL reactive lighting, very good. It has 3 brightness settings, currently on the lowest brightness setting, and that is absolutely fine for what I'm doing at the moment. I'll try and record the front view of the camera just as you can see. Now it's pitch black. So this is on its lowest setting, because the path there, you can't see it, well, you can just about see the road there. Now I'm not going to put it on its brightest setting for long, because I need to see how long this light is going to last, but as I increase the light, so yeah, you can see it's actually really quite bright now. Let me just put that back so it's lowest setting, because that is absolutely fine for what I need. Right, so it's 2 AM, a little over 6 miles in. just going by Charing at the moment. Now, back in 2017, when I did the Escape from Meriden for real, I started at Meriden near Birmingham. I ran down via Leamington Spa down to the Grand Union Canal to follow that down towards London. It was around about Leamington Spa, about 2 hours in, I suddenly started to feel absolutely exhausted, and I didn't understand why, because I'd only been running for 2 hours. That wasn't a big deal, and I still had 22 hours to go. What's going on? So after the race, I decided to find out what this is about. Turns out you have certain neurochemicals which regulate your sleep-wake cycle, and there's several of these, but the two ones I'm going to simplify this. The two main ones are adenosine and serotonin. Now, serotonin will keep you awake, and over the course of the night, as you're sleeping, let me just stick a front-facing light on this, now losing the light of the street lighting. So serotonin, while you're sleeping, the levels will build up, and over the course of the day those levels will deplete. At the same time, over the course of the day, your adenosine levels are increasing, which towards the end of the day will lead to you feeling sleepy, and those levels will decrease over the course of the night while you're sleeping. So what's happening during your normal sleep-wake cycle is your serotonin levels start off high in the morning because they've been replenished over the course of the night, and they will deplete throughout the day while your adenosine levels increase, and this cycle goes on day by day. What happens, or in this case to me, what happened at around about 2 a.m, and I'll stick a light on myself again because I'm running out. So what happens to me at about 2 a.m. in Leamington Spa was that I was entering a sleep cycle. So my body was shutting down while I was still trying to run. That carried on throughout the course of the night, and then around about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, as the sunrise hit, suddenly my energy levels started soaring again. Normally at 2 a.m. you wouldn't notice this, and the reason being because you'd normally be out drinking, I guess, at 2 a.m. So you've got high levels of alcohol in your system, probably high levels of caffeine, which all counteract the effects of adenosine and interrupt your sleep cycle, so you don't actually feel tired. Whereas if you're just exercising, then you experience this whole sleep-wake cycle while you're still awake. So this is why I'm doing this today, is because I need to get used to battling through my body trying to tell me to go to sleep, and me telling it no because I've still got stuff to do. Right, so it's 2:45. Half an hour ago my head torch here flashed 4 times, and I checked the level of it and it was down to 1 bar. So I do have the backup torch, which I've shone it myself, probably inadvisedly, but it's going to start getting light in an hour or so, so I'm not hugely worried. But the reason I'm recording this now is, having told you all about serotonin and adenosine levels, and actually feeling really good. It was like about half an hour ago, I guess. It was like a light switched off on me, and suddenly, oh, these fucking cars, and suddenly I started feeling really fucking miserable, and just wishing this thing would end. And this is what I experienced last time. There's another car. Just go to bed. So, yeah, it's happened a bit more suddenly than last time. It kind of crept up on me. I didn't really notice it. This time it's like a switch flipped. But this is the mental part of the game. I've just got to battle through this, and once it starts getting light, I'm sure my mood will change. But yeah, I thought it best, quite important, I think, just to mark this moment. Anyway, yeah, the head torch is still going after 4 hours plus, which is well impressive. So I'm going to keep that on and see how long it does last. See if it lasts me all the way home. I reckon about an hour and a half, and I should be back home again. Well, I'll stop moving so that because I can't actually see where I'm going. I'm just kind of guessing at the moment. And anyway, we'll see how I am. Should be about half an hour or so before the sun starts coming up, and I'm keen to see how my mood changes and if I start feeling happier and having more energy, because I've only done 13 odd miles and yet my legs are killing me, and 30 miles, that's not a great distance, so I should not be feeling this in my legs. And I can only think that my energy levels are down purely because my serotonin levels are down and my adenosine levels are up. But we'll see when the sun comes up, and maybe I can stop shouting at traffic. Anyway, signing off for now. Turns out my route takes me right past Leeds Castle, actually through the grounds. Whether I can get out the other side is another matter, but I mean that's always one to lift your spirits, just seeing Leeds Castle lit up like that. It's approaching 5, so I think I can just see a bit of sunrise over the corner there. So it's almost sunrise, not quite. There's a few minutes to go, and I've been going through cycles. As the sun was coming up and it was getting a bit brighter, I was feeling pretty good. I wasn't feeling any pain or anything in my feet or legs. My mood had improved massively. Then within about half a mile, suddenly the pain is back in my feet, and I'm thinking again, I just wish this would fucking end. And now I'm about a mile away from home, and again, yeah, feet are still hurting a little bit, but you know, my mood is back on an upbeat par. So that's pretty good. I'm definitely going to learn a lot from this. Certainly going to learn that the head torch is awesome. When I stopped using it, it had been going for about 5 hours, and it was almost on its last legs. But 5 hours for a USB charged head torch, pretty good. I think I need to do a longer one of these, and I also need to do one where I'm running. So where I've walked all of this, and it's mostly on the flat, so there hasn't been any variation in gradient. Maybe that's what's killed my feet. It's just the constant same in, same out, mile on mile. Again, I need to dissect that. I definitely needed to do this, and I definitely need to do it again before I actually do the official escape from Meriden. I remember feeling this feeling of euphoria when the sun came out and I was running along the canal. I haven't had that same euphoric feeling, but then it's still a bit overcast at the moment, whereas on the canal the sun came up and it was bright sunshine. There was nature all around me and it was wonderful, and suddenly all my pains and gripes and bad mood and everything that I had in the preceding hours all just disappeared. Hasn't been quite the same this time round, but I mean, yeah, I'm back on an even keel. It is a bit dark, not just visually, between sort of 3 o'clock and 4:30 ish, but no, feel okay now. So I'll throw it off until I get home.
Well, having completed my first night run in a few years, what do I take away with it? Firstly, having got home and removed my socks, I think this is the main issue with my feet. These socks by Hilly are mono-skinned and somewhat abrasive, probably more suited to short distances than long distances. By the same company, also Hilly, these socks are twin-skinned, and they're designed to reduce abrasion and are much softer on the inside, so I'll probably try these next time. I'll certainly try them on any of my longer runs. Petzl Swift Torch, absolutely amazing. Lasted 5 hours and it was still going, although only just, but 5 hours. That's fantastic. My backup torch, also by Petzl, tiny little thing like that, packs down into that, and I was using that for most of the night as well, and that seemed to be perfectly happy. As for my mood swing, it's good to recognise that my bad mood between about 2:30 to 4:30 was neurochemical in nature and perfectly normal due to depleted serotonin levels. It's something that be managed as long as you recognise the fact that it's neurochemical and not just you being a miserable git. I think next time I'll either take some headphones and play some music through them, or bring another person, both of which I think will offset this by keeping my brain occupied. Overall though, valuable experience, well worth doing, one that will serve me well come November, and I'll do another one probably in October. So that's me, until next time.